Okay. Good evening, everyone. I hope everybody is doing well. Day three, introduction to Red Hat Process Automation Manager, Red Hat Decision Manager. I guess the names are very much new to everyone, and even so for me, because I'm the one like who loves to learn the new stuff out there, and also the one who wants to explore the new technology every single day. You know what means every single time when you try to learn something new or try to do something which is not like which is the part of the legacy like statement that you simply go through, right? I always believe that whenever you are doing something new, you always will face the challenge. Means like even when the people give up on you, means they simply say the like just go, you are doing something different, it won't work out. Just don't give up on yourself, because a standing ovation awaits you if you keep it going against all the odds. You being as a student or you being as a professional, you will be coming out some of the hurdles in your life. No one can see what you see the way you see it. Means the situation that you are inside, the way you want to see the situation, it is the only perspective that you can see. Nobody else can judge the way you want to go ahead. And while I was planning for this day in a software engineer's life, I was going through the similar thoughts in my head, that whether it is going to work or not. But at the same time, somebody said to me that if I'm not going to try, how it's going to be work. So the objective of always this session is like means like all the guest speakers and me, we just want to share our learnings, we want to share our experiences with you, and side by side I want you all to get familiarized with the product line that we have at Red Hat. So basically all the like day in a software engineer life is all about like how a software engineer works at Red Hat, what all the technology they works on, what all like I should say communities they work on, how they reach here and every single day. Now, coming back to the part, day one was for the open source community and its importance. Day two, we talked about Cogito. And today we are going to talk about Red Hat, PAM, and Decision Manager. And today I thought that when I'm going to introduce any enterprise product, or like I should say, any product that Red Hat like customers are widely using, why not to bring a senior software engineer out there? So I talked to one of my colleague. He's a very good friend of mine. I know him like since like I should say now about like 2 to 3 years back when I met him. He's passionate for solving the real world problem, and like he's always ready to think out of the box. And more important, he is just like me, an open source enthusiast who love to speak at the conferences, majorly with the technical subject but obvious, and that's how he defines that he's a senior software engineer working at Red Hat. He's a full stack developer. He has a very vast experience for ReactJs, now Java, NodeJs, Python, and his love for technology is keep on growing one day after the other. More important, what I want you from all, like just put up all your questions that you wish to. If you need any help in understanding that what Red Hat people look, if you want to appear for an interview at Red Hat for the software engineer profile, put it up all the questions. Me and our guest speaker will be more than happy to answer it. So without wasting any time, let me bring on to the screen Mr. RishiRaj Anand. He's our senior software engineer at Red Hat working with the middleware team itself. Hello, Rishi. How are you, buddy? Cheers. So you are on mute. I guess the 2020 trend is getting followed in 2021 as well.
Hello, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for that wonderful gesture. Uh,
Okay, wonderful, buddy.
Watching
So nice.
all your
Mhm.
Let's Share videos, and I was just wondering that when you were going to call me. I feel very blessed to be
No,
part of
definitely.
something like this.
No, definitely, you are always on the list, buddy. Means as I just said that we have met around like 2 to 3 years back, and since then, every single time when I look for a speaker, definitely you are on the list. It just took time to bring you on the screen because something special was. I know that when you will come, you will bring that expertise, and I want our audience, our viewers, to know that why I called up Rishi specifically for an enterprise product line. So, Rishi, how's the life at Red Hat? According to you, what open source is all about?
Open source, yeah. So I would say that open source is. So I would like to share one small story about open source. How I really got into open source, because everyone has a
Mhm.
very unique story of how they got into this open source world and how they got understood the different uh, highs and lows of open source. So I was
Yeah.
working in a startup when before joining a Red Hat, and I was
Hmm.
using all the most of the products that I'm still part of the JavaOps community, and
Hmm.
there are a lot of products I was using, but I was not aware that they were part of JBoss or they were being handled by Red Hat. So
Okay.
when I joined Red Hat, I got to know that almost a lot of the products that we are using in Bangalore in startups, so they are
Hmm.
mostly open source products that we use. Even the students, whatever products they use for learning, even the startups, whatever the infrastructure that is built on, everything is built on open source. So
Right.
I think that was the thing that inspired me to get into an organization like Red Hat and uh, add some value to this. So I was really
Absolutely.
happy when I got to know that I was actually working at part of those products. I was working on the code of those products, which I have been using in my previous ventures.
Yes, 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 yes. No, absolutely correct. You rightly mentioned that when it comes to open source, I guess every single individual don't even know that how the enterprise version of that software is going to be used. And you rightly mentioned that while working in certain different organization, you don't realize that yes, someday you will be encounter with the enterprise product of that similar product line. Right. So why don't you tell our viewers that talking about Red Hat? So, what is your a day looks like in Red Hat? What is the project that you are working on? If you wish to share that.
Oh, yeah, sure. So normally I work in business automations, which is one of the pillars of one of the most important pillars of Red Hat. So
Hmm.
it comes under the middleware section of Red Hat.
Right.
So, and as part of business automations, there are different tools that are there which helps the business to automate their processes. So
Hmm.
before I joined even Red Hat, before I got into the field of business automation, I've always used to wonder what it means to automate a particular business. I mean, there are different we see different businesses, like we have online delivery, online shopping, and how they are actually supporting with the help of automations. I mean, definitely there's a very less manual tasks that they are doing, and most of the things are automated there. So I was always
Hmm.
used to wonder that how the entire businesses is built on top of some automation tools. So
Okay.
this is something that I really find fascinating about my everyday work here.
Hmm.
So, and there are a lot of things. I mean, it's not just coding in Red Hat. As you know, that Red Hat is not just about supporting a particular product or supporting the customers. It's more about supporting the communities. And in Red Hat,
Absolutely.
we are very much open to learning, and we promote all our employees and all the associates to learn and grow. I mean, in
Mhm.
whichever domain, whichever dimension they want to grow. So that's something that I
Absolutely correct.
find it
Absolutely
fulfilling.
correct. You rightly mentioned a very beautiful part that talking about automation. And yesterday I was with one of our colleague Tarun, and we were discussing that in today's world, automation is not new. Automation is there since ages. It's just only that today we are seeing a very different side of it. And you just mentioned about business automation, or I should say business process automation. Why don't you tell our viewers that what actually business process automation is all about?
Yeah, sure. So
Yeah.
we see a lot of businesses around us. As for example, let's take a very small example of an online delivery system. So
Okay.
let's take example of Swiggy. So it looks very simple that okay, the food is getting prepared and it reaches your home. But
Hmm.
we never realize that in between that two process, there are a lot of different processes. There are a lot of different people who are involved.
Right.
And if you talk about, let's say, if you want to manage or if you want to provide some application that can actually help all the different people, all the different processes, you will need to
Hmm.
create different applications for all those different people. So there is a
Absolutely.
need to create one single tool which can automate all those different processes, which can
Hmm.
coordinate all the different people, all the different
Right.
entities in one single place. And
Hmm.
that's what business automation is all about.
Okay. So Rishi means I got the crux, but still I'm personally want to know more that when we are talking about business automation and business process automation, does these two words are totally like different, or how do you see means is it a single identity, or it's totally a two different processes that follows in the industry?
Sure. So any business, it is composed of processes.
Mm-hmm.
So business can be divided, can be seen in terms of processes. For example,
Okay.
delivery system is a process,
Mm-hmm.
preparing food is a process, accounting is a process. So these are
Right.
different processes in a particular business. And if you see
Mm-hmm.
any business, it you should be able to break down the business into different processes
Right.
and basically visualize the entire business. So later in this session, I'm going to talk about how we can actually visualize an entire business in one single, let's say in a single diagram or in a single screen. And that's what this is
Absolutely.
all about. So business is composed of different processes, and
Mm-hmm.
we need a way to automate or orchestrate all these processes. So
Yes.
that's what these both terms are synonyms.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. Now I'm able to like hear it more curious from you that what actually this business process automation, or I should say business automation, and how you can visualize all those by just creating a simple streamlined process to automate your all those diagrams and flows like that way. And before you jump onto those visualization part, Rishi, do you really think that to learn the business automation, you need to be specific in, like you should be good in a particular coding language or something like that? Is it so?
So when you talk about business automation, the business automation is mainly a tool, a platform
Mhm.
um, where you can basically automate or develop different
Right.
solutions for a business. So
Okay.
I would say it's a you build that on top of some languages, but definitely
Mhm.
have to have that learning curve to understand the tool. And
Right.
believe me, I mean, all the business automation product, if they are not user friendly, if they cannot be used by non-developers, then
Hmm.
it beats the whole purpose of business automation. So one of the
Right.
main key aspect of business automation product is they should be understandable by
Hmm.
even the non-developers, the people who they should be treated like an application using which you can build other applications. So the first thing I would say, it has to be very, very simple to use and very
Right.
easy, intuitive.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I guess now we are ready to take on the flight to visualize the entire processes. And for all the viewers, please feel free to post your questions for RishiRaj. And as I promised that we will be choosing a lucky winner in the end. That yes, we have some special goodies for you, and you can just who knows you can win something really really good. So please feel free to post your question related to RHPAM. Anyhow, we are going to discuss RHPAM, RHDM, or something. And or if you wish to like want to ask anything to Rishi regarding the interview processes, interview help, talking about community participation, anything, you can go ahead and feel free to put that down in the live chat, and we will try to answer as many as question we can. So now back to Rishi. So Rishi, when we talk about like now we understand the crux of that what is business process automation, or I should say business processes automation. So basically the automation of complex business processes, streamlining a business for simplicity and increase the quality of that particular product. And moreover, you being a non-techie fellow, or I should
Yeah,
say the non-quality staff for any organization, it makes the life easier, right?
yeah.
So over to you. Let's deep dive, or I should say, why don't you tell our viewer that what is Red Hat Process Automation Manager and what is Red Hat Decision Manager?
Yeah, sure. So,
Yeah.
so now I'm going to take you through a small, let's say, journey of business automations and what
Sure.
role that Red Hat has to, what tools, what role that Red Hat has done in this area, in this particular area. So Red
Mm-hmm.
Hat basically has, Red Hat has three different pillars. Red Hat middleware itself has three different pillars, and Red Hat
Yeah.
automation is one of the most important pillar of that area because it is that pillar which which takes all the different technologies that Red Hat has developed over the years, which can be
Mm-hmm.
runtime, which can be integrations, and everything in automation. It's a platform, so it
Right.
leverage all the open source products of the Red Hat to build a particular tool. So this is
Right.
a particular platform that we will be talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, there are two different uh, tools or products that are offered as part of business automations. These are RHPAM and RHDM. Later in the slide, I'm going to talk about how these products are and what are the different solutions that you can
Mm-hmm.
create out of these products.
Sure.
So let's So before
Okay.
jumping directly into the product and talk some technical, before I burden with you with the technical jargons, let's try to understand and business automation in a very layman's term. So what
Yeah.
do we mean when we say business automations? So as I said at the beginning of the presentation, that entire business is composed of different processes. Some process could be more
Mhm.
complex, and business automation tool or any platform, it's an application which helps you to coordinate or to solve different business problems. So
Right.
later I'm going to tell you what could be those small business problems, and we are going to take some small example. I'll take you through a
Mhm.
very small real life use case, and we are going to see what are those different problems that I'm talking about and how they can be easily automated using RHDM and RHPAM.
Right.
Apart from that, we can streamline a particular business, because, as I said, a business can have different applications serving different entities. For example, as I
Mhm.
said, delivery guy. For example, in an online delivery system, there can be an application for, let's say, a delivery system, for an accounting
Right.
system. What if there is one system that can caters to all the different use cases? So
Right.
in that case, there we can streamline all the different processes in a business with the help of
Mhm.
in a single place, in a centralized place. And the business automation tool have to be used by the non-technically qualified staff who are
Mhm.
not very much into coding, but they still want to take part in the business decision making process. Because
Okay.
let's agree that the real people who are running business, they are not developers. Developers are coding the applications. The
Mhm.
decision makers of the business are the business analyst people, or let's say the
Right.
people um, who are the directors, who are at different positions, who are non-coders, and
Right.
they comprise majority proportion of a business. Developers
Mhm.
are the people who develop the apps, who develop the
Right.
logic. So
Mhm.
the entire goal of any business automation tool would be to provide a platform where all of them can collaborate in the decision making process of a particular business.
Right.
And I mean, just imagine that how what achievement that would be if we are able to create and have such a tool.
Right. Right. Right.
So, as I said, that entire business, suppose given a business problem, the first
Mhm.
thing that we should be doing, I mean, it's not related to any tool.
Right.
We have to analyze the business. We have to break down the business into different sub processes,
Mhm.
or we have to understand that what are how this particular business works.
Right.
And the best way to basically visualize a particular business would be in the form of flowchart, because flowchart is
Mhm.
something which is easily understandable. It's non-code, so a lot of people who are allergic to code, I would say. So I should say so. The flowchart is something. For example, if I ask you uh, to visualize any business in this world, so you are going to develop a flowchart for me. Let's say, okay,
Mhm.
this is the starting point. These are different processes. You will start the flowchart. You will create a flowchart in the form of some blocks, and you will try to visualize business in that form. So BPM and diagrams are just a flowchart, which and it has some BPM and specification. For example, it says that in what ways you can actually visualize your entire business in the form of a flowchart. So it has some standards, some specifications that
Mhm.
you have to follow. So using these BPM and diagrams, you can document the entire business in a flow chart. But as I said, it's a central place which can even help you to document, even help you to manage, even help you to develop your business. So it's not just a simple flow chart for the visual purpose. It's much more than that. Later on, we are going to see how this flow chart can be. I mean, it will make more sense even to the developers and to all the different stakeholders in a business. And
Yeah.
it has to be, it's a easy to understand language. As I said, it can be easily understandable by anyone in a business. I mean, if it is not that, then it beats the purpose of business automation. It has to be
I guess
understandable.
you just made me more excited that when it comes to a known coder, and if he doesn't has to work and still he is the part or she is a part of decision making processes, what easy it could be to visualize just through a flow chart that okay, if yes it is, it should do this sets of work, if it is no, it should do this sort of a work. Rishi, why don't you give any example to our viewers that to understand and to visualize this entire process, that hey, actually if you are from the non-tech background background where you don't have a good coding experience, how you can design the flow. Can you give us some example on that part, please?
Okay, it's already I think 8:30 8:30 p.m. and I think I'm really hungry. I want to have my
Ah,
dinner now. So I think
okay.
let's take a very real life example of let me order a pizza for myself. So
Hi.
let's
So you
just
guys
take
are already making me more hungry. Okay.
so
Okay.
till I'm since I'm attending this session, so I cannot have pizza now. So I'm going to uh, just have my piece with this. So
On me.
let's take example of a simple pizza delivery service. I mean, you order a pizza from your app and it just gets delivered to your home. I mean, in 15 minutes or whatever the time is. So
Mm-hmm.
let's try to understand what are the different processes, what are the different things happen behind the scene, and how that entire business can be built on top of those particular processes. So I would just take some time to explain this particular diagram. This diagram, by the way, is developed using the BPMN specification, and it is part of. You can always find this a lot of examples, similar examples in the bpmn.io website. So
Mm-hmm.
they have already developed some examples or use cases. So I have just picked the pizza delivery service because I'm really hungry right now. Uh, so in this diagram, you can see that there are different kind of structures. Like there is a circle at the beginning where we say hungry for pizza, where we are at right now, and
Mm-hmm.
there is
Yes.
a black dot at the end where you can see. Oh, okay, in the same rectangle, you at the end you can see the hunger satisfied. So that's the
Yes.
end of the process. That's where the
Right.
process ends. That's where the food gets delivered to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we are going to see how there are different processes are present inside that particular pizza customer. For example, in the pizza customer domain, you can see that there are different blocks. For example, you are hungry for pizza, then you select a pizza, you order a pizza. So I said in the beginning that it is also a great place to visualize, to document your entire business. So
Right.
using this diagram, you can easily see what things are happening in your business because you have already
Mm-hmm.
put labels on all the different nodes. So it's
Right.
quite obvious. I don't think that I would even have to explain that what different processes are doing there. And I think it makes a lot of sense. It's very intuitive for anyone to see.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So as you can see that if you are able to visualize your business in this form, I mean that's the only effort that it takes from your end, and it does not require any coding, believe me.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you are talking about any process, like for example, let's select a pizza. I'm just going to draw your attention towards the second node. For example, you're hungry for pizza, you open the app, you see a particular screen, and you
Mm-hmm.
just select a pizza and you order it. So
Right.
then the next question would be, but that screen, that UI is definitely developed by some developer. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
it's built in some application. It's maybe using some language like React or Angular or whatever language.
Right.
Then you
Right.
would say, okay, for example, similarly, there are different processes that could be developed by different languages, different framework. I mean, they have a whole different world. They could have a whole different world. Using business automation tool, we can have a single place to develop all the UIs, all the APIs, and
Mm-hmm.
we can interact all the different entities like pizza customer, pizza vendor, pizza chef, whatever entities or different people who are part of this business.
Mm-hmm.
All those people can interact with each other using our platform, and you can solve the entire system within RHPAM or whatever business automation tool that we use. So I just took
Right.
this example to make sure that we understand what business automation does as a whole. So even
Mm-hmm.
you can see, for example, you need to send a mail. For example, whenever you order a particular pizza, you get a mail from them. So as you can see that there is also some nodes for mail. For example, pizza received. Where is my pizza?
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
similarly, it's just an example, but there are a lot of different. For example, the BPM specification has almost solutions for almost all the different problems of a business. So you should have the expertise of defining a process in the form of this diagram, and just there you go. I mean, the process, the platform will take care of generating the APIs, creating the UIs by itself.
Right.
So isn't it amazing? I mean, you don't even have to hire a UI developer or hire a backend guy to develop the APIs for you. everything can be done even by the non-coders.
Right.
So, let's move on to the next section.
Hmm. Means I have a just a very small command over here that when it comes to like visualizing this part, means even I am very poor at coding. Means I truly I don't understand what code looks like, how those algorithm is going to work or anything. But after seeing this visualization of the decisions that okay, if I order a pizza and how it is gonna go to my like Domino's or Pizza Hut, and then when it is got delivered, there are a lot of processes which we can just think of. And if it is that much easier to just put down in the blocks and create the decision out of it and get the flow done, I guess that is really amazing.
Yeah,
So I hope our viewers are gonna get that particular feel that it is equally important to design the business processes and to automate them, because that is ultimate in making the life of any single developer, or I should say any single non-techie fellow or a techie fellow life easier. So guys,
yeah,
please feel free to put your questions and we'll try to answer in the end, and one lucky winner will win the goodies towards the end itself. So yeah,
yeah.
Rishi, over to you, please.
Yeah, and one more
Mhm.
thing to notice in this particular system is
Yeah.
it's not just applicable for the enterprise system. I mean, definitely enterprises have more use cases for the applications and platforms like this. But
Mhm.
these platforms are also useful for someone who wants to
Mhm.
have a single place to have all the UIs, all the backend, all the database. They don't want to waste time looking for different solutions for different application of their business. So it
Right.
can be used as a community project to solve any business that can be divided into processes. So
Mhm.
that's why we have to start identifying our business, start rethinking our business in terms of the processes.
Mhm.
So
Right, right, right.
let's
So I guess our viewers will be very much interested to know that how this business rules are getting managed, or how you can provide an like easy manageability or a single source of truth for the same. Right? Okay, we already have something for you. Yeah.
so
Rules.
next
Mm-hmm.
we are going to take a look some of the projects, some of the community projects, some of the open source projects
Mm-hmm.
uh, that are powering these technologies, that are powering RHPAM. So
Right.
one of the prominent and one of the most popular products that
Mm-hmm.
is powering RHPAM, or that is allowing us to achieve results like this is Drules. So I wanted to start with Drules because it is one of the most popular product in business automations, and
Mm-hmm.
it was started I think around 2000s when the JBoss itself started. So
Okay.
it has a very prominent history in the community,
Mm-hmm.
and it is developed over the years, and it is really amazing tool which allows the bottom line of any business automation, as I said, is allowing non-developers to participate in the decision making process. So
Right.
Drew is the technology which was started as a rule engine. So
Okay.
what is the rule engine? So rule engine is anything that allows you to take your business logic out of the application. For
Mm-hmm.
example, like when we talk about a Java project, and
Mm-hmm.
looking at the any Java project, if I ask you that, okay, what are the different business logic that is present inside the project, you will need to go into the Java files in details, or let's talk about, or you need to understand the entire Java project. But what
Mm-hmm.
if I say that I can take the business decisions out of that project and put it in a separate file, and that
Okay.
file will be responsible for holding all the different business decisions. So in
Mm-hmm.
that way, whenever you want to refer, or whenever you want to see that, okay, what are the different rules that are part of that particular business. For example, if
Mm-hmm.
what happens after, if B happens after A, so if you want to know how that particular logic works, so you don't have to go deep into the project. So you need a way to take the business decisions out of the language, or out of the projects that you're working on. So with
Right.
that vision, the rules was created. So
Okay.
again, the rules was written. Writing a rules code is, very simple, and it's not. You don't need to be a language expert in order to know rules. So the syntax
Hmm.
is very much intuitive and very much easy for the, non-developers to understand and even code in rules.
Right.
So this is one of the major project that we have.
Hmm.
And the next project that I'm going to talk about is Optiplan. So
Okay.
the Optiplan is again a very, very exciting tool. I mean, it is, I would say, if I have to rate the most interesting tool that we have in business automation, that would be Optiplan for me. So
Okay.
Optiplan is a tool that will allow your business to take smart decisions. So that means that in any business there are a lot of different goals that that business had to meet,
Hmm.
and there are some resources in a business. So in
Right.
Optiplan, you can maximize or you can achieve those goals with the help
Hmm.
of limited resources, whatever you have, given some constraint. For example, in a business, you want to maximize the profit of a business given the number of the employees, and
Right.
let's say you just have to mention the name of the number of the employees, and you say
Hmm.
you want to maximize the profit. That is your end goal, and
Hmm.
there are some constraint. Definitely you cannot have employees working entire day. I mean, that's one way to achieve higher results, but that's not the
Right.
optimal. That's not even in the list, I would say. So there are
Right.
different constraints in a business, and there are different goals that need
Hmm.
to be met, and there are some resources. So all these need to be coordinated in order to achieve the business goal. And for
Okay.
that, there is a tool called Optiplan. So you can use this tool to, achieve a better quality, better to minimize the service cost of a business, and achieve greater results. So definitely, I would
Right.
encourage everyone to take a look at this particular tool and how it helps the businesses to achieve higher results.
Right, right. So Rishi, means if you can just like talk a bit more, like talking about business optimizer with Opta Planner. So when we talk about Red Hat PAM and Red Hat DM, are those tool are the, like I should say, the upstream projects that uses the capability of Opta Planner, or they are the totally different part?
So these are the core which are running behind the RHPAM or RHDM, as you
Mhm.
say. So
Okay.
RHDM. So later on, we are going to see that how RHDM is composed of. So RHDM is composed of these core technologies, which are
Okay.
already part of the JBoss community, and these are, independent project, as you can say. They are
Mm-hmm.
not very much tied to the RHPAM or RHDM.
Mm-hmm.
So they are just part of a bigger umbrella,
Okay.
which we are going to see later in the slides.
Mm-hmm.
So in there we are going to see that business automation is not just about RHPAM and DM. There are different small projects that are running and that are powering the entire business automation portfolio.
Mm-hmm. So I always get excited when I see something new, and being a person who is highly enthusiastic in contributing to open source, I always seek for the community. So can you tell our viewers also something related to the community, like if somebody want to join as a student or as a working professional and want to contribute to business process automations, how they can do it? Is there any way that we can also connect to this community?
Yeah, definitely. So
Mm-hmm.
as we say that there are different communities, and every community has a lot of different projects. So
Right.
Red Hat Business Automation, they primarily have the community called as key community. We call it key. Knowledge is
Knowledge.
everything. So the reason of
Awesome.
having this particular name is as I said, that it's a platform for non-coders. It's not just
Right.
tied to particular knowledge. Is something that should be available to all. Everyone should be
Mhm.
able to basically gain the knowledge and share the knowledge, and
Right.
that is the main motto of business automation.
Mhm.
Everyone should be able to collaborate on one single place. They should be able to share ideas and able
Right.
to share their knowledge. So that's where this
Right.
name comes from. The knowledge is everything.
Mhm.
There are three major projects. As I said, there are a lot of different small projects, but there are three prominent projects, which is JBPM Rules Optaplanner, which are under a single umbrella called key.org. So if you can directly go to the website, then you can see that there are different channels and different forums and public threads which are for this particular projects that we see, JVPM tools of Taplana.
Hmm. So if I want to join this community, so do I get all the link to ki.org, or do
Yeah.
I need to go
In,
to certain places?
or you can get links to all the different projects that you want to contribute for. So this is the main entry point where you can
Mhm.
for the business automations if you want to contribute to business automations. So from here
Right.
you can start exploring the JVPM projects, or you want to explore the Druze project. So this is the place where you actually start your journey.
Right. And for all the viewers, this particular link, which is called kie.org, you can also find in the video description. Otherwise, it is already on the screen. It is very short and sweet, which I personally love, like knowledge is everything.org. So it is very easy to remember. But yes, you can always go and explore this particular link. You can also find it in the description of this particular video. You can also like take the screenshot and open up another tab, and why not go and explore it. So when I want to join this particular community, Rishi, how I should proceed? Can you tell our viewer, like, if I want to be a contributor, how I can join the key community?
Sure. So that
Mhm.
brings me to my next slide, which is
Yeah.
how
Oh,
a new
let's go.
how someone who is very much new to the community can enter this business automations.
Hmm.
So first thing to join any community is you go into that particular repo, and I mean that's the first thing. That's the first thing you do as a newbie. You don't know anything about the particular community. You go to the
Right.
GitHub, you go and look at the README files, and if you want to
Hmm.
contribute, there is a contribute.md file where you can go and you can start looking the ways. I mean, there are different communities. They have different ways to maintain that particular project. So you have to go and um, just go and see the steps that are needed to contribute. How you can contribute, how you can actually fork that project, and start contribute different areas of that particular project. And the
Hmm.
second way is to participate in project discussion. So by contributing, so what we mean by when I say you have to contribute in a particular community, it does
Hmm.
not necessarily means the development aspect of a project. Normally we see that okay, it's all about it's a development project. So basically all the developers have to contribute. So as a
Right.
developer I can write the test cases, I can write code, but it's also more about sharing the ideas. So every contribution matters in a community. If
Right.
you are able to share the ideas in public forum or project discussions, I think that is even much appreciated. I mean that even
Mhm.
goes a long way because it's your idea which is getting implemented, and you are getting some role in the next generation of what is getting built. So share
Mhm.
your ideas, participate in public forums, participate in different channels that we have. So if you go to
Mhm.
the ki.org website, there you can find different links, different public forums where the project discussion keeps on happening. I mean, every day they are very active channels. So you can go
Mhm.
and start sharing your ideas. Maybe just read through those ideas which are already shared by developers and start contributing your bit.
And I guess every single project starts with an idea. So you rightly mentioned that every single contribution matter, even every single idea also matters. So
Every single
yeah,
idea. Every single idea.
absolutely correct. So this is very good. Means I personally loved this part, that when it comes to the community, anybody can come and contribute. And you rightly just rightly mentioned that if you are a non-developer, you can also contribute to the same. I guess, Rishi, we have a couple of questions in the chat box, and guys, please feel free to put it down in the comment. And towards the end, Rishi will pick one lucky winner out of the raffle, that who's gonna win the goodie for today. First question coming from hers, that how can we create the same? Is there any tool, or also we have to create this from the scratch by picking up the shapes, etc.? Like, I believe this is related to that BPM and diagrams.
Yeah. So,
Hmm.
I mean, if you so recently in Red Hat, I mean, it is a very latest offering from the business automation. So, if you directly go and type BPM and not new in your browser, so it
Hmm.
will open the editor for you. So it will open
Okay.
the editor where you can actually start creating your diagram. So it need not be, you need not have to be in the platform or in
Hmm.
RHPAM. in order to develop the shapes. So if you want the editor, where you want
Hmm.
to start developing these diagrams or the shapes, you can directly go to the bpmn.new link in the browser, and you will what you will see is an editor with which will have all the shapes. Like you have the paintbrush. We used to use a paintbrush when we were a kid. So
Yes.
it has a
So
similar
that.
layout. You will see all the different shapes, and you can just drag and drop a particular shape and start developing your diagram from there. So I
Hmm.
would encourage you to please go to bpmn.new or dmn.new for that sake, and you can start
Hmm.
your start creating your diagrams from there.
Right. So I believe that is very much easy to go and just create your own diagrams. Okay. So one of our fellow, our first speaker for the day, cheers, Manaswini. Thanks for putting up the question, but you are not allowed to grab some goodies. But yeah, question is appreciated. So Manaswini is asking that how does the decision making process works in such a scenario?
Sure. So, as
Mhm.
I said, that diagram, when you create a diagram, when you create a visualization, it's just the starting point. You have found a way to visualize your business in a particular diagram. Now, you need to import that particular project you have in a
Right.
platform. Or in the last session, I think Tarun explained you about
Yes.
Cogito, which is our new offering. So,
Yeah.
the diagram can be imported into any Java project, or it can be
Hmm.
created from a Java project. And the decision making process of that particular business can be powered by technologies like Drools, which will be part of that project. So,
Okay.
uh, if I talk about the diagram as a single entity, it's just a way to
Hmm.
visualize the business. But when you put the diagram in a Java project, then the things start making sense. Then you can actually assign different variables to different nodes, different shapes in the diagram, and you can start your decision making journey from there. So you have to import the diagram into a particular Java project.
Hmm. And that's how it actually works. Means your applications are developed in different language. Over here, you are just building the logics to connect the dots of that particular application.
And how it helps the business automation. The diagram can, so as I said, that different people can contribute to different areas in a
Hmm.
business development. So imagine
Right.
a
Right.
case the diagram is being developed by a non-coder who is not even aware where this diagram is getting used.
Hmm.
Like a business analyst, he will create the diagram for you. He'll create the shape, and he'll just deliver the PNG or the .svg format to you. And as a developer, you will have to take it as a documentation, take it as a acceptance criteria, and start
Hmm.
developing a solution from there. So
Hmm.
in that case, the business analyst or the non-coder don't even have to know the Java project that it is getting imported. So they have, so it is different things are taken care by different stakeholders in a business.
Right, right, right. Another question jumping out of Shivani's brain, that without knowing Java, can anyone learn business process automation?
Definitely. So as I said that the Java business automation, most of the platforms or most of the tools are developed in Java, I would say. So without
Hmm.
knowing Java, you should be able to develop some simple business automation solutions. But as I said, that it is also a no code and low code platform. So there is a little bit of coding involved because suppose you want to have some complex solutions.
Right.
So using business automation tool, if it is not getting fulfilled with whatever is provided, I mean, a lot of the UI, a lot of the logic, even the diagram can be created with the help of some drag and drop. But
Right.
if you think that your solution is more complex and it needs a little bit of coding, so there
Hmm.
is also a code, a Java code that is getting generated alongside.
Hmm.
So for every change that you do in the diagram, or any change you do in the UI, you can always go and see the Java code getting generated. So if you
Hmm.
want to develop more complex logic, then I would suggest that you will, if you have a little bit of Java knowledge, it will be an add-on. Definitely, you can develop more complicated solutions. But without you knowing Java, the business automation tools are well equipped enough to solve majority of the problem, majority of the business use cases.
Right, right, right. Means still, answer to that would be partial, I guess. One state of mind, it says that yes, you can create, or I should say, you can learn the business process automation without having the Java knowledge. But it will be more even beneficial if you know Java, because every single time you drag and drop any figure, it is going to generate some Java files in background, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely correct. And out of curiosity means, please feel free to put down some questions, guys. We'll try to take one or two more coming out of there. And I want to ask one thing, Rishi. Means I believe for our viewers, it is equally important to know when we talk about Red Hat Process Automation Manager, Red Hat Decision Manager, which are just introduction that we want to give it to our viewers for this session. These two products are actually same one, or means is it a single identity, or what I should say means how our viewers should take it, that RHPAM or RHDM are the one, or these are the two different products or one subset? How?
Yeah, sure. So, as I said that the tools that I showed at the beginning of the slide. So I think
Hmm.
the rules,
Decision.
Optiplan, I
Hmm.
said that they are the core of the business automations or the RHPAM.
Right.
So the RH Decision Manager is composed of these core technologies, the core tools that we talked about. But
Okay.
RHPAM is actually the platform. There is the wrapper that is actually that is the umbrella that is actually encompassing everything. That has all
Hmm.
the rules, Optaplanner, all the engines that are part of the decision manager. And
Hmm.
Red Hat Process Automation Manager is again the wrapper on top of the decision manager. So,
Got it.
and why we
And
need that? Uh,
mhm,
can we share the
I
slide?
guess
Yeah.
sure, it's right over here.
Yeah. So if you take a look at this particular slide, then you can easily figure out the functionalities or different areas that both these different products take care of. So as a decision
Hmm.
manager, it has the capability of rules management. Uh, we already talked about rules management. We already talked about business optimizer, which is Optaplanner.
Hmm.
And process automation, it helps you to manage your projects, because ultimately what we are talking about projects here.
Right.
We should The platform should be able to handle multiple projects.
Hmm.
Once the project is developed, we need a way to deploy the project and
Right.
have the APIs getting generated. We need the third parties. For example, a process has generated a particular set of APIs. We need a way to for the third party or the other entities to basically interact with our applications.
Hmm.
In order to have that, we need process automation manager to take care of the other application development aspect of a business application. So these are
Right.
two different aspects. One is the decision making capabilities, and one is the managing a
Right.
particular process. So
Hmm.
later on, we are going to see some more about how this different how this tool take care of some specific functionalities in an application.
Hmm. This is very important means for all the viewers means I work like closely with many customer who always ask me that, hey, I want a Reddit process automation manager or Reddit decision manager. So now I believe our viewers would be very much happy to understand that yes, Red Hat process automation manager and Reddit decision manager are like how they work. So decision manager basically help us to generate the business rules management, the complex event processing, or I should say the business optimizer through the Opta planner and other things. And on the other side, the wrapper is your Red Hat process automation manager,
Yeah.
which take carries the process cases and the management part, and through like the APIs that brings down the entire framework whole together.
Yeah.
Right.
It is one of the more high
Definitely.
aspect of the processes.
Okay. Now I guess every single individual should have the basic clear differentiation understanding that what is PAM and what is a DM is all about. Oh, we have
Yeah.
a PAM overview architecture as well. Yeah.
So, if you take a look at this diagram, then I mean,
Hmm.
whatever I said, that okay, it's not just about creating the application; it's
Right.
also about deploying the application somewhere.
Hmm.
And after deploying, once the application is live, there will be different, I mean, different entities, there will be different integrations that will be part of your application. There a lot of people who will be calling your APIs. They'll be using your processes. So there is also a way to we need a way to track those particular processes. So as
Hmm.
you can see, the RHPAM overall architecture is divided into three areas, which is modeling and authoring, where as a process developer or as a business analyst, you should be able
Hmm.
to model the entire business, as I said, with the help of the BPMN diagrams or the DMN diagrams. Once the authoring part is done, I mean, the project is created,
Right.
then you need a way to deploy the project, and everything is part of the one platform. So
Hmm.
everything. You don't have, it's not that you develop an application, then you need a particular, you have to look for some server to deploy it. The
Hmm.
server is also part of the RHPAM. So it is called as the key server, as you see in the next block. So once
Yeah.
the modeling part is done, application is built, then you deploy it into a key server.
Hmm.
And once the application is deployed, you can control and you can take a look at different metrics of the project using the monitoring tool that we have. We have some dash
Right.
builder APIs and dashboards that you can see within the platform. So as
Okay.
you can see, one platform is taking care of almost all the aspect of the business, and
Right. Right.
that
Right.
too you don't have to code. I mean, a lot of the things are auto generated.
Means what I can easily visualize from just over talking about the Red Hat Process Automation Manager, your modeling, your runtimes, or I should say your monitoring, every single thing can be easily taken care with the single identity. Means when you are talking about the runtime or through the key server, if you want to manage your web services or CMS, and if you want to have the custom UIs, or I should say forms, or if you want to have some mobile application hosted, the user friendly things can be easily also done. So I believe the business analysts, the developers, or I should say the external users, they will be very much benefited by this product, right?
Definitely, definitely.
Definitely, it makes a very life very much easier for everyone to just correlate with the things.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful, Rishi. I believe thank you so much for giving us this architectural view of Red Hat Process Automation Manager, which is equally important. And I guess Shivani just posted a thank you for you for clearing her doubt. Okay, so coming up, another question coming from Tejaswini, where she is asking that is there any requirement of Red Hat certification for the topics that you have mentioned? Means okay.
Okay. Uh, no, you don't need to have certifications because, as I said, in
Mhm.
open source or in communities, you can definitely find all the information to contribute or maybe to use
Mhm.
this particular things. So you can always
Mhm.
go to the Red Hat documentation where you can get all the different. You will get all everything that you need there, and
Mhm.
everything is open to all. You can even go to the ki.org. As I said, if you want to take a look at different or specific topic that you want to explore, maybe a particular project that you want to explore. So I would say all the documentation, all the information that you need to use this particular platform is available in the documentations itself.
Okay.
However, you can always go for certification if you want to have more in-depth knowledge and have certified. Because I think the JVPM, if you are a certified JVPM developer, then there are also a lot of opportunities for you because there are a lot of businesses who are actually using these tools, and they have people who are actually responsible for creating this diagram. So, Gaurav, as you can see, that this diagram is more also like a language. In Java, you learn,
Yes.
for
Yes.
example, in Java, you learn different concepts, and then you combine them to create solutions. In
Mhm.
business, in RHPAM or in business automation, also you learn different topics and you combine them in order to create a solution.
Mhm. No, definitely, I believe I also correlate to the things first learn and then get certified is always very much important. But again, thanks for the question. So we are towards the end of our session, Rishi. I have a very sweet question for you, and then you can pick if somebody is there for a lucky winner for that goodie part. But I have a very question coming out of my head that we have also asked every single viewer, the session holder from like yesterday and day before yesterday. When was your first PR? Do you really got excited when it got merged?
Yeah, definitely. I was so excited. So
Uh,
my first PR, I think yeah, when I was in Red Hat. So it was in Red Hat when I
oh,
filed my
okay.
first PR.
Hmm.
But I would say that I will also talk about some other story. I mean, that was when my first PR in the Bootstrap project got merged. So it
Okay.
was pretty amazing for me because I had been using Bootstrap since college days, and when it got merged, I was really excited. Okay, one of my code will get into the Bootstrap project. That lot of, I mean, it has a lot of people who are using it already. And
Mhm.
definitely, when my first project got merged in Red Hat, it was a feeling. I mean, I cannot tell. I mean, it was very. I was really really excited that day.
Definitely, definitely. I can correlate to that particular smile for sure. Means I always believe that way, that whenever you take that first baby step, and then the path is very much easy to follow. So definitely, so thank you so much, Rishi, for giving us a very nice introduction, talking about business process automation, talking about Red Hat PAM and Red Hat DM. So any piece of advice that you wish to give to all our viewers, that talking about open source or what they should follow, or any piece of advice for all our viewers?
Yeah, sure. So there's one thing that I always say when I give talks like this. So open source is not just a business development model or just a model for a particular company. It's something that is available, that is should be used by all the different people because the knowledge is open. So it should be used by the students to learn, by the people who wants to be entrepreneur or who wants to explore or who wants to have some next big idea. So they can always use open source technologies to build tools on top of the existing tools. So why to reinvent the wheel when you can always use a particular project and start creating your project from on top of it? So I would say that open source is the best way to power innovation. I cannot think of any other way because um, innovation happens when different people collaborate and different people share ideas. And open source is all about sharing ideas from, I mean, no matter wherever you are, all the products, all the innovations that is powered by open source that are being developed by people across the globe, and anyone can share idea. Um, so I would say that.
Definitely, definitely. Sharing the ideas and being open is always important. So, do you have any lucky winner for the day?
So I think
Anyone
we
you
can.
wish to choose?
So I think we can definitely pick someone from the chat. So I think we can give it to Shivani Biradar. I mean,
Okay, wonderful.
she asked a very relevant question.
Definitely, definitely, Shivani. Congratulations for winning an exclusive goodie from the team. Cheers with Gaurav. On the other side, please do reach out to me on any of my social media handle on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Instagram, and you can find that in the description. And moreover, thank you so much, Rishi, for sharing your views and enlightening us for the Red Hat PAM and Red Hat Decision Manager and giving us the perspective that even a known coder or a non techie fellow can also contribute to the decision making processes for any organization. Thank you so much, Rishi, for your wonderful talk. Cheers.
Thank you, Gaurav, for having me. Thank you.
Anytime. Anytime. For all the viewers, stay tuned. We are almost half the way. Day 4 is lined up for tomorrow, and there is another exciting sessions planned up for you. Do watch out my post. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Please feel free to share it to your friends who do you think that they would be interesting to know the facts about this a day in a software engineer's life at Red Hat, how they uses the product, how they contribute to the community, and rightly I just want to say one thing, that the beauty of your dreams lies in your own eye. So if you are ready to see the skies, nobody is going to stop you that. And similar thing, it's all about contributing, learning, and sharing. We all are same. We all are friends. We all are family. And by the time, I just simply want to say thank, and smile. Cheers with Gaurav signing off for the day 3 and day 4.